We start with the shunk, shunk of shovels in dirt. The smell of wet earth presides over us as 1, 2, maybe as many as 3 figures dig in a light rain. Shunk, shunk. They've made a sizable pile while lightning arcs across the sky and the deluge begins. Shunk, shunk, thump. A shovel hits something solid and hollow. Deft hands move quickly to evacuate the solid, cold wood coffin. Another arc of lightning illuminates the name on the gold plate nailed into the wood. George Spillman. The year is 1924. Welcome to Dread.
Holy shit.
Woo!
George.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dread and Breakfast.
Welcome back.
I am your host for this story. My name is Fob. With me are my lovely players. Say hi and introduce yourselves, everybody.
Hi and introduce yourselves.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine, for following up on Jacob's almost good joke.
No, you were addressing it to everybody. Say hi and introduce yourselves, comma, everybody.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, hi, I'm Jacob and I'm hilarious.
I'm Christine, and I am hilarious to the end.
I'm Marissa, and I agree that you're both very funny.
But hi, hello, welcome. We here play the TTRPG Dread. It's a game that is played not with dice, but with a tower, which is similar to, yet legally distinct from Jenga.
Legally distinct.
Yay, not getting sued.
How the game works is if you ever need to make something that in a normal or a different TTRPG you would roll a die for, instead you make a pull from a tower of wooden blocks. And if the tower ever falls over, your character is removed from the game. That's the name of the game. The only other thing that I will say before we fully jump into this evening's tale, I would urge you, dear listener, go back and listen to the first 2 stories of Season 2 if you have not yet done so. You can still listen to this one. It will still make sense, I promise. It's going to be so much better if you don't do that and you go back and get the context.
It's almost like we're weaving a very complicated narrative throughout the whole season or something.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. We see in a flash of lightning the lid being pried off a gray coffin. As a roar of thunder echoes overhead, loud enough to make the ground beneath these people's feet tremble, as though the earth beneath them were adjusting itself to the weather. The lid is moved aside, and below we see... But wait. No. This isn't right. Dear listener, I'm so sorry. You have no context for this.
Oh my god.
How gauche of me. Let's rewind time. Back to, say, this afternoon? To a clear sky and a particular barber shop. A close shave. We enter the shop, and were we ourselves not voyeuristic phantasms, a bell would tinkle. A man rises from a chair in the middle station, his face cleanly shaven. With a wry smile, he hands the barber a banknote and winks. "Is he in, Clarence?" The barber smiles and twists a cap on his stand. A soft clink can be heard within the wall. "Mr. Spillman, I believe you're expected. Second panel on the left." The Spillman walks to the back hallway and pushes on the second wall panel. As he does, another faint clicking can be heard. The wall gives way, revealing a hidden flight of stairs, which lead down to a bar. A shot appearing as though by magic, just as the man reaches the bottom of the steps. Welcome to Spillman, and the best speakeasy in town.
Fuck yeah.
The Spillman walks into the room, and I'm actually
But
going
does he take the shot? But does he take the shot, Fabrice?
Very important to know.
It's very important.
Marissa, of course he does. And I will ask you, what is he drinking?
Oh, well, first of all, let me settle in, friends. Welcome to the speakeasy. The shot does not appear by magic. It is actually a very, very well-calibrated mechanism. Do y'all remember the board game Mousetrap?
Painfully so.
So when the door was opened and pushed in to go into the secret flight of stairs, it released a little marble from behind a hatch above the door, and along the whole ceiling of the speakeasy, there is like a little like wooden track like ice cream stores have nowadays. And
hell yeah.
the marble falls into the wooden caboose of a wooden train that is on that track, thus like starting the train's motion, and it choo-choos all the way around the room, and there's real steam coming out of it, and it's scented like lemon verbena. And all of this is perfectly timed with the average amount of steps it takes a man to walk down the stairs. So it choo-choos all the way around the room, the train stops, the caboose tips over, the marble falls down a ramp that's parallel to the handrail, and it knocks over a little thing of moonshine that then fills up the shot glass that is waiting for him at the bottom of the stairs.
Amazing.
So appearing as though by magic. Marissa, is there anything special about this moonshine?
It's peach. Old Joanna donated her some of her peach crop to the person who runs the speakeasy.
Donated.
Donated. The speakeasy is a not so open secret, and those who know and are a big fan, and they help out where they can.
Okay.
Oh God, I rhymed.
Arthur?
No.
Is Arthur with us now?
His mother's not born yet. Get out of here.
That's fair.
Arthur's always. Arthur was and is to come.
Eternal.
The Spillman walks up to the bar, meeting, I believe, the one and only bartender of this, the best speakeasy in all of Spillman. Marissa, do you want to tell us what the speakeasy looks like? Like, what kind of space is Mr. Spillman walking through?
So the room of the bar itself, it kind of looks like an old like wine cellar-ish. So like lots of like rock wall situation, very natural, very rugged. The decor's fucking incredible. Like beautiful Art Deco, lots of chairs, a full bar, some velvet going on. And it is to note that there are no conventional lights in this place. They are all lanterns that are filled with Spillman lunar moths.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Yes.
That's very cool.
And because it's dimly lit, they're very bioluminescent. And so they have, everything kind of has a very moody, soft, what did we say it was? Blue kind of light to
like
it.
a blue-green, yeah.
Blue-green, yeah. There's like one of the old like barber shop pillars is just filled with them off to the side. They're like hanging from the ceiling in various like repurposed aftershave glass bottles and things like that.
Shut up. That's so cool.
Thank you. There is also next to the bar a very well-marked door that is sealed that has a bigger lantern with the moths hanging directly over it, and a sign says, in case of cops, emergency exit.
Not suspicious at all.
Well, that's our escape hatch. If we get raided, we all just run for it. And I think Spillman and everyone who frequents the speakeasy would know that that little rat trap exit leads directly into the mine, which is, I believe, very active at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, the mine is still... I mean, it's gone into decline since George died, but
Oh, rip.
but his son, Colin, is hoping to... Well, you'll see in a minute.
Oh.
Does the proximity of the mine ever mean that there's, like, tremors that come through the speakeasy at all?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the more delicate batches of liquor are, like, belted down to the bar.
They're in, like, padded crates.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Marissa, now that we've set the mood, we're in a dark, blue-green lit underground place. I'm thinking the color palette of that one scene in Atlantis where it's just Milo and like in the
Ooh.
underground they had to swim to it
Yeah,
spot.
exactly. That is the vibe, 100%.
Knowing that, Marissa, do you want to introduce yourself as our boy sits down?
At the bar?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I sure do. So behind the bar, you see a man. He is kind of short and like a little like stocky, but you get the sense that he is distressingly agile. And he is, of course, wearing his barbershop uniform, which is complete with a bow tie.
Shut up!
That's right.
Okay, pause. Marissa has just unveiled.
Marissa was wrapped up in a burrito blanket.
Yeah, I was really lucky we're recording when it's cold outside because I've been covered in a blanket to hide my cool costume this whole time, and it was a little sweaty under there.
And Marissa has unveiled that she is wearing a white button-down with stripes and a bow tie, a plaid bow tie. You look
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Even more amazing. Behind this gentleman on the bar, there is a mechanism that almost looks like an accordion, like the skeleton of an accordion. And in it is like, in the center is a cocktail shaker, and it is shaking on its own. Oh, I forgot. He also has a little name tag that says Fritz. And so the cocktail shaker finishes shaking. And for everyone at home, I will be making these live.
Oh! Oh my God.
And of course, he brings out a beautiful coupe glass. I don't have a coupe glass. And pours a lovely bee's knees for Mr. Spillman. And
You guys!
he hands it to him. Mr. Colin Spillman, right on time. Your welcome shot this evening is, of course, our latest batch of peach moonshine. And I have, of course, your usual finest bee's knees. Made the honey syrup this morning.
Oh my...
It's great, Fritz. Thanks. Any word on where the others might be?
Well, and Fritz, like, reaches underneath the bar and pulls out just, like, a whole cuckoo clock that has, like, 6 different clocks built into it, all reading different times for different reasons. And he kind of, like, shrugs and he's like, well, I can only imagine that Officer O'Malley may have gotten a bit held up at the office. And as far as Kit is concerned, if she's here within the hour, we'll call that on time.
That's fair. I can't be incredibly long here. I'm needed with making sure the festival isn't mismanaged today.
Oh.
My brother is trying to get in with the Bankertons, I think.
Oh. Well, your brother, Mayor Holbrook, also tried 3 times last week to find our little hidey hole down here. Mr. Grufton upstairs got told him what for, but could you ask him maybe to stop trying to ruin my whole business?
I'm sorry, Fritz. I think it's partially me he's getting back at. He knows I come here. He doesn't approve.
You didn't tell him, did you? Like you didn't say, "Hey, I go to the close shave for my bougie gin."
No, but he's had me followed in for a shave, and, well, you know, when you go in for a shave and you come out 3 hours later, he made some deductions. I told him that you and Mr. Grufton were very thorough people. I don't think Holbrook, I don't think he believes me anymore.
Fritz just kind of shrugs, and you see him crank a little lever and reset the train and the marble contraption for the next patron.
Fritz has big Maurice energy from Beauty and the Beast.
Incredible. Thank you.
At this moment, we hear the speakeasy door creak open once again, and descending the stairs is Jacob. Would you like to introduce your character?
Hi, I'm Officer Brennan O'Malley.
Whoa.
O'Malley goes in a different direction than where I ended up with the voice, but
O'Malley.
O'Malley. Officer Brennan O'Malley. If you picture like a police officer from 1920s, it's him. Great mustache, I imagine. Cool little hat.
Fuck yeah.
Blue suit deal with the badge and shiny buttons. You know, copper.
The real question, Brennan, do you drink the welcome shot?
Ooh.
But of course, it'd be rude to not to.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what a shot sounds like, right?
Was the first player to drink actual alcohol in the Dread. You must, of course, be the first one to take a pull from the tower.
Oh, sorry. It's really good, though, I promise.
Fair, but also predatory. But
Wait, did Fritz not do an introductory poll?
I sure didn't. Don't
Fritz
look at
did
me.
not do an introductory poll. Fritz, you want to deal with that now?
Yeah, that's fine. I was really hoping you'd forget and I'd get one.
Nah.
Ta-da!
Okay.
But Officer O'Malley, as you come up to the bar, of course, Fritz is already pouring your usual, which you did tell me the other day was a gimlet.
Ooh.
And he garnishes it with a dried lime wedge and hands it to you.
delicious.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Officer O'Malley, the real McCoy, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing, Brennan? You weren't followed, were you?
You think it's my first day on the job? I ain't nobody behind me.
Fair enough. Any sign of Kit? She's not gapping away with Grufton up there, is she?
You know what? I didn't. And, you know, she's not normally one to be discreet, so if she was around, I'm sure we'd know.
Well, I guess we can just wait here a minute and see when she turns up.
Fritz, sets one of the cuckoo clock back, 2 hours.
Starts winding it.
Yeah. So, Officer O'Malley, how did you manage to get out of work in the Harvest Festival tonight? I thought you were scheduled to be on the Scarecrow contest judging duty.
Oh, I just talked to old officer, another name I didn't think of yet. Officer Smith. It's a great name.
It's a great name.
And just traded. He was mighty keen to check out some scarecrows for some reason, and so now I'm on perimeter duty, and you know, perimeter's pretty safe for as far as I can tell.
Fritz just gives you a scumbag kind of grin. I did hear that the Scarecrow competition was pretty fierce this year. I heard somebody dressed up, one of them to look like Calvin Coolidge, but wearing mining attire that had coal dust all over him and stuff like that. That's downright creative.
That does sound quite the spectacle.
Yes, the the scarecrows. I'm glad you brought that up, Fritz. That's actually going to come up just a little bit later. I don't want to have to explain it twice, though, so we'll give Kit a minute and then move on. This is a 3-person job, unfortunately.
Now, Colin, can I call you Colin, Mr. Spillman? Has anyone ever told you that you have a way of making even mundane sentences sound very ominous and foreboding? It's a talent, sir. Cheers to you.
I think I'm taking that as a compliment. Thank you, Fritz. I'll have another. And he passes his empty glass to you. And as you're filling up that glass, the camera pans back out of the speakeasy into the barber shop, and it looks left, it looks right. There is no one in here save Clarence Grufton. The camera, it clicks, it pans out again. We're outside the barber shop. We're like zooming out until we see the whole of Spillman, a bustling mining town that is in the throes of getting ready for their annual harvest festival this evening. Some tents and stalls are already up, ready to go. And the camera, it looks at the harvest festival, and then it keeps going. Kit isn't there.
Christine, where are you?
It flips on the one church in Spillman, and we start to zoom in. And we zoom in through the front doors, and again, we see an empty place.
Oh, no.
We turn to the left, and we see the 3 doors for confessional, and we zoom in. The confession booth is a small space. There is a bench seating with a kneeler, and there is a grated partition. Usually, there is a full panel between the two, which seeks to typically obfuscate the identity of those confessing. However, should either party wish to, they can move the slat to reveal the grate. And Kit, would you please describe your character?
You see a pious woman. She is wearing a long dark coat. She has a prayer veil over her face. Gloves on her hands, folded in prayer. She leans in towards the window between the 2 parts of the confession booth.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
And you hear the voice of Father Patrick come from the other side. How long has it been since your last confession?
Oh, Father, about a week.
Father Patrick pulls back the slat. Kit, you know that most people don't come once a week.
Do they not? Oh, well, I always have it in my heart that I want to be as holy as possible, Father.
And she does the sign of the cross.
Oh my God.
Aren't we supposed to be seeking holiness?
My child, what could you have done in 1 week that would cause you to need to come back to me here?
Well, should I begin with the venial sins or the mortal sins?
Both in a week. That's powerful.
I'm never before have I felt such trepidation at confession. Father Patrick kind of sighs, puts his head in his hands, slowly closes the slat between your 2, and says, "Proceed, my child."
Kit kind of eyes the slat and then goes back to her prayer position.
Well, Father, I must confess that I have had idolatrous thoughts in my heart.
just the other day I was walking down the road and I saw Margaret with her new dress, and she just looked so beautiful, and I thought I want something sequiny like that as well. And I know this sounds a lot like envy, but I feel like I have these thoughts all the time, Father. I'm so full of sin, I don't know what to do.
Kit, someone as willing as you are to come to confession once every week since you've been here. You need not worry, my child. You are on the right path.
Well, Father, I must confess also that you're not the first person to call me willing.
I was going to say you need to say 10 Hail Marys and 6 Our Fathers. My child, double that.
I'm sorry for these and all of my sins.
Amen. Kit, it is at this moment that you realize this appointment with Father Patrick has gone slightly longer than you had anticipated.
Oh my God, I'm late.
What did you say, my child?
I said, oh my God, I contemplate these sins and this prayer that I give to you. Thank you, Father. I will do the 20 Our Fathers and 45 Hail Marys. And tell Sister Therese that I'll see her on Wednesday for a prayer circle.
That will be fine. Do you need anything else, my child?
No, Father. Go in peace. And she bolts out of the cabin.
Go and sin no more.
And she curtsies towards the altar as she crosses the sanctuary to leave.
Perfect.
God damn it. I forgot. And she starts running towards the barbershop.
And thwack, we arrive in the barber shop. You hear a small clattering on the stairs as though someone is coming down them very quickly.
When Kit reaches the bottom of the stairs, she takes a quick breath and arranges herself within the door frame. She also, on the way, has changed out her clothes. She's now still wearing a long coat, but it has this gigantic fur collar and fur around the wrist. She has white satin gloves and has her hair pulled back under a green silk scarf.
Oh my God.
And she leans up against the door frame with one arm above as the door opens. She's just revealed.
I think
Amazing.
I think because you came down the stairs so fast, it jostled the mechanism a little bit, and so instead of pouring into a shot glass, the moonshine just pours onto the floor next to you at your feet. And then I think the three of us were probably playing cards or some shit, and we just all look up.
And I look down at the spilled liquor and I say, well, that's a shame.
And Christine, could you make a poll?
Certainly, but first I must reapply my lipstick before I do something so important.
Oh.
What color lipstick is Kit wearing? I need to know.
Oh, rouge.
Incredible.
Ooh.
And
Very
She has
good.
a perfect little pout.
I love it. Kit, do you come up to the bar and join everyone else?
I do. As I'm crossing the floor, I look over at Fritz. I say, Fritz, darling, would you be a dear and pour me one? I seem to have not quite gotten my proper welcome.
Fritz stops one of the cuckoo clock watches, and he's like, "Hello, Dollface. Only 36 minutes late today. That's a new record." And he whips you up, as I have here, a old fashioned. Here you go.
Amazing. You know how to do a girl right, don't you? And she takes a sip, never breaking eye contact with him.
Oh, it's getting hot in here, Christine. What's going on?
Colin rolls his eyes and has put down his hand of cards and seems to be done with the game. Kit, welcome.
Well, you must be Colin Spillman. And she extends a hand to him and says, Catherine Margaret Coyle, nice to meet you in person.
A pleasure, Catherine. And he sort of like takes your hand, and I think Colin would brush it with a kiss.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I ship it.
Well, if this is how I'm being greeted, you can call me Kit for short.
A pleasure. Please. And he gets out of his seat to give you his chair and goes to sit at the other end of the table.
Thank you. And she brushes his shoulder as she sits down.
Now, friends, thank you all for meeting me here on the day of the festival. I know it was a little short notice, but for reasons that I think will be made apparent, I couldn't do this earlier. I'm looking to hire all three of you for a particular job. That none of you have walked away tells me that this is a good thing.
Well, we're here to hear about the particulars.
This is so weird. I, Fob, do not know how to be a criminal, so trying to realize how to do crime is tricky. Hello, police officer that is listening to this recording. I, Fob, am not a criminal.
I'm a good boy.
Well, you're not the criminal. You're just the guy who's got the job. We's the criminals.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, excuse me, officer. I apologize. Certainly a man of the law would never think about doing anything unethical.
I'll give you the details first, and then you can all tell me if you're in or out. The mine currently is not doing well, shall we say.
Oh, are you of the same opinion as your father when everyone unionized 20 years ago? Are you still on that?
No, I don't. I'm not like my father. Part of that might be the problem. He had this way. He knew where to dig. He knew where to go, where to send people. I don't know how he did what he did. But since his passing, we haven't struck anything.
Anything?
Hardly. Nothing new. And as you might imagine, that's not great for business.
Well, is that going to affect your ability to pay our rates?
Absolutely not. My family's pockets are deep. But I know my father had something that told him where to dig. And I need that.
Like he had a dowsing rod, or is this like a tangible thing? Because no offense, Mr. Spillman, we're all very good at what we do, but we can't really steal, if that's what you're implying, a gut intuition on where to put a shovel in the ground.
I need whatever he has that told him where to dig. There's got to be something in his desk that he used for that. I'm prepared to offer each of you $5,000.
Hold on. Let me just go to the inflation calculator real quick. Hold on. 5,000 you say?
Uh-huh.
$5,000 in 1924 is the same as Are you sorry? That's what you're for real?
Just say the whole number for those of us who were counting on you to do the work for us.
$89,137.86. I think Fritz chokes on his drink.
Oh, wow, that goes down smooth.
We don't have to off anybody, right? It's just like a swiping game. Am I understanding you correctly?
No murder.
$5,000? 5 big ones.
He like holds up 5 fingers, like
$5,000
For each of us.
Just to burgle a house.
And how are we certain that, with such a flashy offer, that it's not just bait to get us to do your bidding and then you throw us under the bus afterwards?
That's a very good point, because my entire operation would be a pretty good catch for your brother on his mayoral re-election run, and Officer O'Malley here could probably lose his job, along with half of the force if he rats.
And I've got a certain reputation to uphold in the community.
Fritz just rolls his eyes.
Colin smiles, opens up his jacket, and takes out 3 lumps of cash and puts them down on the table. I have 1,000 for each of you up front, if you take the job.
Kit glances over to the other two and takes a sip of her drink.
I'm not hearing a no.
No, I mean, I can get into most any house I want most of the time. So yeah, this seems like a pretty good deal.
Fritz looks at Kit, looks at Officer O'Malley, and just very slowly reaches across the table and slides one of those stacks just right over and just pockets it.
As the officer stated, I think we probably have the skills to get done what needs to get done.
Perfect.
This is the part where you tell us what the catch is, right?
No catch. Just that it has to be today, before the scarecrows are judged.
I'm sorry. So hold on. So
Uh-huh.
there's a scarecrow competition.
Uh-huh.
What? Our characters would know this. That's just some dumb shit I said once. What does that mean? It's like people make scarecrows?
People make scarecrows.
It's to see who can scare the most crows, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have barrels of crows that they
No.
unleash?
You know,
Honestly,
the standard method for transporting crows, barrels.
A barrel?
I like that. You know what? I like that better. Yeah, it's that. It was going to be a whole other stupid thing that I had, but no, this is
Oh my
better.
God.
Release the barrels.
And then it's whichever scarecrow can scare the most crows.
Can you imagine? Wait. Can you just imagine a barrel of crows?
That's fucking terrifying.
Everybody knows when the train carrying the crow barrels rolls into town.
Choo choo.
Yeah, terror is that day.
Murder descends upon Spillman. Murder in a barrel.
Where do they store the barrels? In the meantime, what if the train's early? Who
if the
who has
train's
that
early?
fucking job of yeah,
Wait, is that where you get your barrels for making your alcohol?
oh my, from the crow train? Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it might be.
You get the used crow barrels.
The nice crow barrel aged bourbon over here.
Why do you think your old fashioned was so good tonight, kid? It's
It's a 12 Talon brewery.
It lingers in the beak, if you will.
It's like, Marissa, the train comes in, it has the barrels, and then it just
oh, it's immediate.
It's right away. Train gets here, barrels go, crows got to be judged.
If we do this every year, what does that say for the crow population in this area? That's probably
There's a lot.
not good.
How do they source them?
That's a better question.
The
honestly.
train, wherever the train comes from, obviously has too many crows.
Guys, it's the same crows the crows fly away, and then someone else has to catch
They're
them.
homing crows.
Oh.
Someone's got to go catch them.
Damn.
They call them home by bringing out a bowl of shiny things.
So what time are the scarecrows being judged this year, Mr. Spillman?
Yeah, when did the train get in this year? Was it on time or was it early?
The train is still on its way. It's supposed to arrive this evening.
But what time this evening?
When the plot demands it, I think.
Do you look at your cuckoo clock as you say that?
Oh yeah, I do. I'm making adjustments.
You're making adjustments.
And you know what? I think the cuckoo clock, I hit something wrong. It goes cuckoo, but it's just a crow, and it goes caw.
This is unhinged.
Was it ever hinged?
No,
No,
We lost the hinges a long time
a
ago.
long time
that's
ago.
true. So what I need done, before the scarecrows are judged, I need you to go to my family's home, go into my father's study, and steal his journals. He should keep them in a desk.
Hypothetically, let's say we get the journals.
Mhm.
Let's say we read them. Let's say they don't tell us any information. Do we still get paid?
Oh, come on, Fritz. Have a little bit of faith.
If the journals truly say nothing about how he knew where to dig, then sure, job well done. I'm the sucker. But if you find any indication of how he knew where to dig, I need that. Without that, no payment.
So it's just a little bit of a research job.
Yeah.
No problem.
The one, I think you said catch, is that, well, it shouldn't be an issue today. Normally, and the reason why I haven't been able to do this myself is my mother, I think most of you know, is bedridden, hasn't allowed anyone to go into my father's study. I'm told by Holbrook that she'll be at the festival tonight, so it should be an easy job.
Is your mother well enough to be at the festival? Because I've heard every single week at the prayer circle that somebody's bringing her up to pray for her health and for her restoration.
Yeah, word around here is, and Fritz kind of looks around at the lunar moths and at the door to the mine, and he kind of gets a little quiet. He's like, I've heard she has the rot.
Kit does a sign of the cross.
I heard that she maybe was so distraught at George's death that she wandered the mines a little too much, breathed in some air that she shouldn't, and caught that. In which case, I think that's information that we should know up front.
She's sick. She's sick, and they think it's the rot.
All right. We just got to figure out when we're going to be able to get in that your mother won't be there.
He pulls out a pocket watch. Should be in a few hours.
Now, I hope you don't think me too bold, Mr. Spillman. How about a addendum on your offer? $5,000 for the journals, the reconnaissance, if you will. What about if there is something tangible that he used, a oculus of some sort, a scientific device,
A dowsing rod, like you said.
etc. If there is a tangible way that he had his ways, if we find that and bring that back to you, let's say $10,000 each. It's only fair.
Oh, yes, because certainly this would lead to a boom for your business.
A boom.
And we should get a piece of that, don't you think?
Let's say, if you're not just pulling my leg on it, Fritz, I don't think you'd do that. If you bring back a tangible thing that he used, it's not just the journals, 10 each seems more than fair.
I hold out my hand, I lean over to shake, and I say,
Mr. Spillman, I hope you really enjoy the festival this year. I hope it's just the best one yet.
I've got a feeling in my bones this is going to be a wonderful festival. He takes your hand and shakes it firmly. Colin stands, lifts his glass to all of you, drains the rest of the bee's knees inside, leaves it on the table, and walks out.
if anyone was wondering, $10,000 in 2024.
It's going to be pretty roughly double the last number, right?
Yup.
178,275.72
Pretty good money for just burglarizing a house, you know?
Yeah, I'd rob a sick old lady for that. You kidding me?
Yeah, to go get a book off the bookshelf in your own house.
Yeah.
I'll take $100,000 for that, sure.
That sure is a lot of lipstick. Now, how are we getting into the Spillman Manor? Are they doing any of their open houses like they've done in years past? God knows that Laura would not shut up a few years ago about the Spillman Manor being open for open house because of the Harvest Festival. But I haven't heard a peep from Laura this year, so I don't know. Are they doing that or not?
None of you have heard that they're doing that this year. It seems like with Constance in further decline, they're kind of shutting that kind of stuff down.
Question.
Yeah.
Is the rot something that is contagious?
Not known to be, no.
That's good.
They were worried about it at first, but not anymore.
Well, and the scary thing about the rot is that it hits everybody a little bit differently. There's a lot of unknowns about it.
Yeah. We used to have a regular, one of the miners. I kept trying to get him to try a last word, ironically, but he would always stick to moonshine. Anyway, he got the rot real bad, and he was gone within a week. He got the hallucinogenic variety of the disease too. Said some crazy stuff.
What was his name?
His name was Mr. Mark Peanut Brittle the third.
Oh, Mr. Peanut Brittle. Yeah, I remember seeing someone like that coming through here at some point.
Oh, and the widow Peanut Brittle is still just really distraught. It's been, over a year now.
Now, remind me, is it peanut hyphen brittle, or did they end up just combining into one word for the name? Because, if she was Widow Brittle, that kind of
Widow
rolls off
Brittle
the
is
tongue
better. Yeah.
Too bad.
Anyway, Officer O'Malley, haven't they had you over for, dinner and stuff?
It's not for dinner, but I do make frequent stops over in that direction. I mean, there's one due tomorrow, and yes, see no reason it shouldn't happen a day early. I mean, we could certainly use that to our advantage.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do you have any suggestions on how we enter? Front door, back door, window? Locks shouldn't be a problem.
And I pull out my little barber tools set with all my little straight razors. Fritz is a shit barber because all of the straight razors are really just lockpicks.
Amazing.
Are you even ever a barber? Do you even ever do?
Do you even barb?
Of course I barb. Of course I burr. Why do you think I have the uniform?
Okay.
Now, to answer your question, as I was saying, I've got a delivery scheduled for them tomorrow, but we could take it a day early, and then I'd go in the back as I do, and that would distract the butler, Bueller, the butler, and he, I imagine, is the only one left in the house about now, so it seems a mighty high price to pay to get a book off a bookshelf in your own house, but I'm not going to ask too many questions.
What are you delivering, might I ask?
Now, Fitz, you of all people should know the goods I end up delivering in this town.
Oh, well, let's pretend that I am what did you call him, Fob? A voyeuristic phantom who does not know that
Phantasm.
information, listening to this in an audio format.
Recording audio is such a new thing. Nobody's recording any nonsensical stories. It's for great masterpieces of music and nothing else.
Oh, come on, Officer O'Malley. Won't you elucidate for us?
I mean, it's booze. It's not like you built it up so much now, and now it's just I run the booze around in this town. I'm a delivery person of such.
Would you say you're a bit of a rum runner?
Ooh.
Would you call yourself a booze boy?
A hooch hunk?
There you go.
I mean, gross. I try not to define myself by that particular job, as that would be dangerous in this point in time.
Dangerous. Well, I'll say, considering how much you get around, officer. I've heard that you don't only do deliveries for me and Mr. Grufton, but also for our competition, Old Nestor Hannafan, and the second-rate gin he makes in his bathtub.
I mean, I get the box. I take the box to the place they says to, and that's about as much as I know.
Oh, and you're so busy, officer, with your extra shifts because of the Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
And oh, whoops-a-daisy, you got the days mixed up. Well, but certainly they could take the delivery a day early. How's that?
I mean, I've never known them to turn one down.
Now, this butler guy, Bueller, how old is he? Just so I know what I'm working with. I'm assuming that I'm going to be the one making a bit of a distraction there, per usual.
I mean, it's a butler. I mean, can you name even one butler who's not an old man?
Fair point. Well, Sometimes the old men are the easiest ones to charm.
All right, so Kit and Officer O'Malley, if you guys are doing the delivery and dealing with Bueller in the back, I'll break in through the front. Or do they have a cellar? That might be easier.
I don't see the need to bring Miss Coyle along with me on the delivery side. I mean, I ain't never brought a companion with me in the past. So that would seem to probably raise some suspicions.
Well, does it make more sense for all of a sudden Officer O'Malley has a civilian helping him? Or should I come up with my own story for why I'm there? The parish is having a fundraising event, and so I could be collecting alms for the restoration of the new prayer nook. I don't really know what a prayer nook is, but we certainly need alms for it. I could call upon the house, and certainly Bueller will be the one to answer the door, as he does. And, could take it from there.
That sounds like a fine enough plan to me, I guess. I mean, as I said, it doesn't seem all that complicated.
Enough complicated.
And officer, if you're familiar with the interior of the Spillman Manor, perhaps you go in to make your delivery. I'll come after you to continue to distract Bueller.
And
that'll
then we
allow you
meet
to
up.
sneak further in. Exactly. You know exactly where I'm heading, Fritz.
We meet up in the bookshelf. Bada bing, bada boom. Get a book, read it. I don't know, pick up a fork or who cares and get out.
And I can drive us away in my new police-issued automobile.
Oh, is it a Ford?
Is there any other cars? It seems like it's probably the only one.
Now, I don't want to begrudge the gift horse that has stumbled into my bar this evening, but do you really believe, Colin, that there's some magical something that let his dad look at where to dig in the mine? That seems a little far-fetched to me.
One thing I've learned about making deliveries is it's never too good to be asking too many questions.
Kit leans on the bar coyly. Oh, where's the fun in that?
You guys, having conversed and made your plan of action, do you all leave the speakeasy together? Or
No.
do you trickle out one at a time?
What time of the day is it? Ish.
You guys have been in the speakeasy for a while now. It maybe was noon, and we'll say it's maybe 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, I gotta run home real quick and change.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
excited to hear what the fit's gonna be, Christine.
Okay, so Kit, you leave the building to go home and get changed. And as you're leaving the barber shop, you see a couple people walking over in that general direction, a small group, and you recognize one of the people at the front as Colin's brother,
Oh no,
Holbrook Spillman.
that bitch.
I reapply my lipstick. And she just leans against a light post, not necessarily trying to call any attention to herself, but not trying to call attention to herself. She's just a gal out on the town.
Mm-hmm. Holbrook sees you and kind of comes up. And now this is the point where I have to check my levels because this gentleman has.
Oh boy.
Why, hello, Catherine Margaret Coyle. How are you doing today?
Hello, Mayor Spillman. Better for seeing you.
That's so kind of you to say, Cat. Always a pleasure.
Oh my
The
god.
pleasure's all mine. What can I do you for, Mayor?
Oh, I'm just about to go have my hairs cut right before the festival. I need to look my best. I will be part of the scarecrow judging.
Yes, your civic pride and your coiffed nature are some of your best qualities.
Why, thank you. I do appreciate it. And did I spy? Were you leaving the barber shop yourself?
Now, Mayor Spillman, what business would I have in a barber shop?
I'm not sure, but I know you would tell me if you had any.
You do know that.
Well, it was a pleasure seeing you here today. I hope that I will get the chance and the privilege of your company later this evening at the festival.
Well, the privilege would be all mine, Mayor.
Excellent. And he walks away because I'm tired of talking like him.
He's horrible.
Yeah, he seems really genuine.
Oh, Mayor Spillman.
Yes? Why are you making me come back to this hell?
If I might, do you have any insight about when the crow train is getting into town?
Ah,
Since you said you're going to be judging the Scarecrow Festival, what time's that happening at?
I heard that the scarecrow judging this festival was set to happen at around 7 o'clock.
Oh, so not too long from now, huh?
Not too long that I know. Of course, the train might always be delayed. You know how unreliable trains are. Not like the Ford automobile. Ha ha ha.
Well, if it's 7 o'clock, well then, my goodness, I better be going because, there's a lot to do beforehand. I'm sure you've got a lot to do to prepare for your judging responsibilities as well, Mayor Spillman.
Well, thankfully, I don't have that many hairs left to cut. He takes his hat off, and you see like a bald spot forming in the middle of his head.
Good.
That he has kind of like a slight comb over to try and hide, but it's not really working.
Oh, I see. I could probably put on my lipstick by just looking at your noggin.
Honestly, I choose to take that as a compliment. Thank you very much.
As it was intended. Now, is any of your wonderful family going to be joining you tonight at the judging?
My brother, Colin Spillman, you may have heard.
Oh, I think I've heard the name. I don't know if I've ever met him around town before, though.
A foolish individual if ever I've met one. He still thinks our
my.
father's mine is viable.
Well, it's like my grandfather always said, optimism and foolishness require a perfect balance.
Certainly. I hope to bring balance by selling or convincing him to sell the mine to the Bankertons.
Oh, no.
The Bankertons. Wow, that's, I'm surprised to hear you hollering these plants so loud, Mayor.
So loud. You're a megaphone, sir.
What do you mean? This is a normal human speaking voice.
Oh, of course, yes.
I feel as though somehow you are poking fun, but I can't figure out how that's happening.
Well, should you have any poking needs in the future, you know how to get a hold of me. Or perhaps you're the one doing more of the poking.
Oh, damn.
We have an explicit tag on iTunes, yeah?
Marissa, do you know how many times you say fuck?
Don't look at me.
Christine, for the undertones of the interaction you just had with the mayor, Kit, could you make me a poll, please?
Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be my honor.
I like the fiction where anyone who ever interacts with Mayor Holbrook just has to make a poll because of who he is and how he talks.
You just never know if he's gonna give you a hug or shoot you in the face.
Oh, God.
Bob, I can see every single one of your teeth when you talk as that man. I need you to know that.
Well, have a lovely rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you at the festival.
You have a good one too, Mayor.
He walks over towards the close shave.
Kit turns to leave and gives a little bit of a shake as she goes.
Kit, why? He's not your favorite.
Let's just say, I'm very particular about who I trust.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, even in our little basement, does Fritz and Officer O'Malley hear that entire conversation from outside?
So now, Now, Fritz, you don't hear the entire conversation. You just hear Holbrook's part of the conversation.
And the part where Kit was yelling about poking.
Yeah.
So you hear the sexy part of the conversation.
And that was on purpose.
So, hearing that, Fritz and Officer Brennan, what would you both like to do?
What do you think, O'Malley? Do you think you can manage to give him the slip on your own?
I say it'd be better if he didn't see me for sure, and if you've got a more surefire way to keep his eyes off me, I sure would appreciate it. I've got to get out and, pick up that parcel I now have to deliver a day early. And I imagined with how things had worked out, I'd be picking up a drop in the woods.
All right.
He pulls out his cuckoo clock, looks at like the bottom leftmost clock and kind of mumbles. He's like,
Okay, the last shift at the miners should be on their lunch break, which means they shouldn't be in the tunnel. Oh, all right. 2 seconds.
and he will drape like blinds over all of the moth lanterns so that their illuminescence isn't as visible. He will go up to the secret door panel entrance leading down from the barber shop and throw like the deadbolt. And he will stuff like a go bag just in case of like his 3 most prized gin batches into a little satchel. And he will grab one of the lanterns with the moths in it over the door leading out into the mines. And he produces a key from his pocket, unlocks it, and before he turns the handle, he's like,
you're not claustrophobic, are you?
Claustro what now?
Good.
and I open the door, shove you in first, tuck in after you, and slam it shut behind us.
Kit, could you please describe for me where you live in town?
Ooh. So Kit lives in essentially like a women's boarding house.
Okay.
There is like an old house that is between the church and Dorbar Road that has a variety of different rooms that are rented out to the lady types. At this time, it's a little rarer for women to like own their own homes or like rent an entire place for themselves. So
Yeah.
I think Kit has like her own room. It's in this house. It's upstairs. It's well furnished. She has, a simple bed and a writing desk and a side table and a full-length mirror, of course. She's also filled her closet to the brim with clothes, so much so that there's also on a large sitting chair in the room that is meant to be for, when she has visitors or, just when she needs to take a break. It is just like piled completely with clothes and accessories that she has flung about. Kit is one to do a quick costume change midday, so sometimes this pile on her chair can grow pretty tall.
Amazing.
Okay. So that's like the normal state of your space, kind of like, would you describe it, I guess, as like cluttered or more just like things are sometimes like strewn about?
Things are sometimes strewn about. The thing is that like to anybody who comes in there who isn't Kit, it would look like a mess. She knows exactly where everything is.
Got you. So, Kit, you're coming home, you get to the boarding house, and you see that the door to your room, is open just a hair's breadth. What is your first instinct?
This is alarming. I think that Kit's super personable to everybody in the house. Nobody dislikes her, but like she,
The thing is that I'm a bit of an introvert, so I really require my personal space to remain personal. And fortunately, everybody in the house gets along so well that we never really have issues. So I'm a little perturbed to see that the door is not locked the way I left it.
I pat down my pockets to see, did I forget my key? Maybe was I in such a rush because I was running late that I forgot to lock the door? I think she would take a moment to make sure that she is perfectly coiffed and rearranged, have a cool air about her, before very cautiously opening the door. And she walks in very nonchalantly, doesn't want to give off any sort of air about anything other than just a woman returning to her room.
Kit, make a pull for me.
Oh, no.
This is a standard poll. Nothing to see here.
It's been pretty chill so far.
Nothing odd, nothing glamorous. Perfect. So, Kit, you give yourself your pat down. You do notice that you do have your key, so you absolutely didn't forget that. And when you come into your space, you see sitting in the big chair, the pile of clothes that had been on it before have been unceremoniously dumped on the floor.
I'm pissed at that.
And you see a woman familiar to you. You see Jacqueline Mary Fuller, better known around town as Mayor Holbrook's secretary.
Oh, what?
But you would know her from your prayer circle at the church.
Jacqueline, what a surprise. What are you doing here?
Kit. Charmed. I'm terribly sorry. I noticed that the door was open, and I just, I thought you were home, so I let myself in.
The door was open. You let yourself in. How presumptuous.
And she bends down and picks up a dress that has been placed on the floor and kind of like shakes it out and goes to hang it up again. She's really upset about this.
So the other thing that you notice about Jacqueline is that she's holding a notebook in her hands. Now, you can correct me on this, but I believe it is a small, black book.
Yes, with a long leather string wrapped around it. I
Oh?
see you found my prayer journal.
You see that the leather string has been unwound.
Oh, Jacqueline, I see you were praying for the other parishioners. Did you perhaps need to refresh your memory of our list from last week?
I did indeed. And Kit, I do hope I can call you Kit. Is that
Catherine will do.
very well? Catherine, would you have a seat? I want to speak with you about the mayor.
What is going on?
Oh, well, I just saw the mayor. we just had a nice conversation on my way over here, in fact.
And she takes a step over towards the other chair, puts a hand on the back of it, and remains standing.
That actually is what I'm here to speak with you about. I noticed that you and Mayor Holbrook have been spending quite a bit of time together.
You could call me civic-minded, I suppose.
In the interest of the civics of our town, we are coming into an election year, and I don't believe it's wonderful for the mayor's family man image if it's known that he's spending so much time with a lady such as yourself.
Such as myself. Jacqueline, might I ask, are you insinuating something is going on between me and the mayor?
I would never do that, Catherine. I know that you're a woman of the church.
If I could be of the cloth, what an honor it would be. But if there's nothing here that you're insinuating or concerned about, I really don't understand what the problem is. I'm just a concerned citizen looking for an audience with the mayor every now and again.
I'm also a concerned citizen, and my concerns are for the mayor. As his secretary, it is my pleasure, my delight even, to assist the mayor in all of his day-to-day tasks, keeping his calendar organized, assisting with meetings, taking minutes, and occasionally taking out the trash and removing the refuse.
Damn.
Gasp.
This bitch.
Well, you know what they say. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Quite. But with re-election coming up, I am concerned that if it were to become public, yours and the mayor's frequent visitations, I worry what that could mean for his public image. It might be best if you were to stop seeing him and perhaps if you found new lodgings in a different town.
I can't help but observe that you seem to be so worried about the mayor's public image, a factor that he is responsible for just himself. Are you sure it's his image and not the fact that you, being the secretary to the mayor, do work at the will of the mayor? And if the mayor isn't reelected, then I think you might be out of a job. So I'm just wondering here, forgive me, but Mayor Holbrook is a grown man, and I think he can make his choices the way that he wants to make them. If you're concerned about your job stability, perhaps that's something you should bring up with him. I have nothing to do with it.
Yes, job stability. Speaking of, Catherine.
Jacqueline?
I don't ever seem to see you working. Have you had difficulty finding employment in Spillman?
Not every woman works. I have my means, and frankly, I think it's a little bit rude that you're asking about how I am supporting myself. It really does not seem to be any of your business, Jacqueline.
Well, it's just that you brought up job security, and I was...
Oh, I'm plenty secure, don't you worry.
Especially after the crow train comes in.
Jacqueline, I love to, as much as I love to converse with you, I do so wish to partake in the Harvest Festival as a devoted citizen of Spillman. So if you don't mind, I really do have to be going.
And she reaches out and goes to take the book out of Jacqueline's hand.
I don't think there's... What's in the book, Christine?
Christine, I do have a question for you.
Yes?
How is the book written?
Why, it's my prayer list.
Simply just a list of people to pray for?
I keep track of my prayers and my thoughts and conversations with the Lord. In fact,
Okay.
I do feel like I must converse with the Father, the Great Father, this evening before I continue on. So, if you don't mind, I would like to say my prayers and then be on my way. A personal thing, it's not holy to boast about prayers and pray in public. The Bible does say that you should go into your room and shut the door before you pray. So, Jacqueline, if you don't mind.
Christine, could you make me another poll, please?
I certainly can.
What's in the fucking book, Christine? No way this is prayers.
My prayer list.
It's her prayer list.
I don't buy that for 1 second.
Marissa!
There's been a lot of tea that has been uncovered. Like, I would not have guessed that Kit and Holbrook were fucking. Like, this is a very...
I mean, nobody's... your words, not mine.
Is Holbrook married?
Yes! He's a family man. He ran on that for his campaign. Well done, Christine.
Listen, I never said anything about what our meetings look like. That's up to the imagination at this point. And if that's where your imagination goes, I think you might be needing to take a trip over to St. Felix's.
Kit, thank you so much. As you're ushering Jacqueline out, you know that she's read your book. You also know that she's, as the kids say, sus, but she hasn't been able to figure out what it means. She does not believe you that it's a book of prayers, but she has absolutely nothing else to go on as for what it could be.
Exactly. I mean, anybody who reads this would be reading written out prayers. Anyone can see plain as day that what is written on the pages of this book are the prayers of a humble, pious woman.
Yeah, okay.
Catherine, she kind of puts her hand in the doorway to stop you from fully pushing her out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
She stops for a moment, collects herself, and says, Catherine, one final thing before I go. I wouldn't linger in this town if I were you. I would hate to have some sort of accident befall you.
Bro, what?
And she goes to leave.
I think as she says that, Kit slams her hand over where Jacqueline's hand is, pinning it to the doorway, and says, "Listen, you trollop. You don't know how connected I am. I would watch your back."
Oh my god!
And she takes her hand away.
Have a wonderful day.
Her head turns. She is full on psycho grinning at you.
Oh no, oh no!
She knew there was something, and like you've just confirmed everything she thought. And she says, "I'll see you at prayer circle." And then she looks you up and down and says, "Unless, of course." And then she walks away.
I think once she leaves, like, Kit closes the door to her room and locks it from the inside. She goes over to her bed and, like, is flipping through the book again, like, making sure, like, she knows that she's written everything very carefully, but, like, just ensuring that, like, the code is secure, essentially.
Christine, you can opt in for a poll.
For why? For what? For how come?
Sure, it's early. I'll do it.
That's fair. The tower's not that bad. But Fob, we all have our DM styles, right? You know, I love that part of yours is just like dangling the carrot.
Woo-hoo! Well done, Christine. Marissa, you were saying carrot, stick. Marissa, you want to make 2 polls?
No, I'm not. I'm not in this fucking scene.
Flipping through your notebook, you notice that on a couple of the pages there are graphite marks. Almost as though someone had taken like a blank sheet of paper and was doing that thing like a chalk rubbing or a charcoal rubbing. But you know how you can like graphite like on a notepad and see what the last thing was written on it was?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like someone's done that to a couple of pages. If there are any pages that jump out that mention Holbrook, they would be of those. But if Holbrook isn't mentioned, they would just be random pages.
Fuck. She looks up on the wall where she has like a calendar pinned up and starts counting the days back from how long she's been in Spillman. Right. One more job and I can get out of here. This job's just got to go well. I can move the whole schedule up a couple weeks here. It'll be fine. Fucking Jacqueline.
What?
With that, I think that she then like takes the book and takes it over to the writing desk and begins she puts today's date on it and begins to write her prayers.
Oh. A prayer for Constance Spillman, who has the rot. A prayer for the Harvest Festival, specifically the Scarecrow Judgin', 7 p.m., and underlines it. She writes, a prayer for those in service of others.
A prayer for those in service to civic leaders?
Oh, I was thinking about Bueller.
Oh. That's fair.
A prayer for the continued prosperity of our industrial economy. A prayer for guidance. And a prayer for those in government.
And she closes the book.
Ooh.
And now, question for you. Do you get your room back in your order? It looks like the writing desk was disturbed. It looks like everything is just like half an inch to the left or right of where it was. Like someone had their grubby little mitts all over your things.
Oh, this annoys her so much. I think like Kit starts just like muttering to herself and straightening everything as she's going.
How the hell did she get in here? I swear, if Priscilla let her in again, she should know better. How many times do I have to tell these fucking dolls that I don't want anybody in my space?
And she goes over to her clothes and starts like whipping through the different hangers trying to find the outfit that she's going to wear for the heist.
As if I don't already have enough on my mind. Fucking Holbrook.
And she pulls out a pair of striped bloomers and
starts
starts pulling them on and a shirt with a gigantic bow on it and like
incredible.
Just gets dressed into something that is still like era appropriate but like work clothes.
Got you.
Christine, I think I'm falling in love with Kit. Like, what is happening? Like,
well, maybe we can go grab a drink sometime and see where this goes.
Christine, you're not allowed to steal my wife. That's no.
Listen, take it up with Kit. I'm just here. I'm a mere vessel.
So we leave Kit donning her work attire, and we thwack back to Fritz and Officer Brennan O'Malley.
Yeehaw. I don't know if that's something he says. Who knows what's going to come out of that guy's mouth?
He's a loose cannon.
Fritz and Brennan, you both are in the mine tunnel.
The secret tunnel?
The secret tunnel!
Secret tunnel! Through the mountain!
Secret. Okay, now that Nickelodeon has
Been summoned?
Cease and desisted?
has cease and desisted our podcast.
Don't worry, I'll get us out of it.
Thank you, Kit. You both have heard the creaks and groans from the earth before. They sometimes will crawl their way up through the escape hatch and add to the ambiance of the speakeasy. But here, in the mine, surrounded on all sides by tons of earth, the once atmospheric symphony of shifting soil takes on a sinister tone. Was that the sound of falling rock just now? Did it sound at all too large? Are you sure this place is safe? Sound? As steady as Colin always makes it out to be? We hear drip, drip of water coming from far off and echoing through the bowels of the earth.
This sucks. Fritz fucking hates the mines. Fritz hates it so much. This sucks so bad.
This was your fucking idea!
Yeah, I didn't think I would have to use it this early, Febreze. I think since Fritz is marginally more familiar with this space and knows the way out, presumably, I think he would be leading, stepping very slowly and with the lantern of lunar moths held aloft to light the way for him and for Officer O'Malley. The way that the arrangement was made for the escape hatch out of the speakeasy is that it slopes down kind of gradually to meet up with one of the uppermost tunnel systems of the mine. How I think it works is that once the miners have done mining in a certain area, it's oh, we don't need this tunnel anymore. So that's where they throw their trash and loose dirt and rocks and shit. It's just the trash tunnel now.
Yeah.
The speakeasy tunnel connects with that. So we eventually will be crawling out through that into the main tunnel and up right by that uppermost exit close to the church, I believe.
Yes.
But until then, it's, I don't know, would you say a 10-minute walk?
I think a little bit more than that in the very dim light that the moth lantern gives you. You're kind of feeling your way.
Yeah, it's not good. And because the tunnel's underutilized, I think we are kicking loose rocks and bits of discarded mining stuff, maybe a chewing tobacco tin lid or things like that miners have discarded in the past 20, 30 years that they've been mining here.
And whenever you do, it echoes and it goes on and on.
Yeah, I hate that. And I think Fritz is just kind of leading the way, glancing back at Officer O'Malley every once in a while.
Okay, so remember, they have this fun little saying. These moths, wings of blue, good for you. Wings of red, that's a head. So don't.
Spillman loves its terrifying little rhymes.
It sure does.
It's a rhymey town.
It's like Pink and Morning, Sailor's Warning, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
but
it's
moths.
just like that.
Red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you say? Pink
Pink and Morning, Sailor's Warning, read it. I'm not a sailor.
Not with that attitude.
But, very important, if you see these, and he holds up the moths, they change from this blue-green to more of a, blood red. That means there's bad air. We gotta turn back, plug your nose. That's how you get the rot. Don't breathe it in. Also, watch your step. Sometimes there's a loose stick of dynamite lying around.
Fritz, Brennan, I need you both to make a poll.
Yeah, it's fair.
Why would you introduce dynamite into the situation?
Loose dynamite.
There was no dynamite and no risk of dynamite, and then you were like, let's bring dynamite into here. And Bob's like, okay, great.
Jacob, I watched so many fucking cave exploration videos and gave myself nightmares. And there's always dynamite lying around, and it fucking freaks me out.
I don't think dynamite...
Sounds like you're going into some bad cave.
The only saving grace that I have is that presumably someone posted this to YouTube, so presumably someone got out and it's fine.
The cameraman never dies.
So thank you both. In your scuffles, you do not tread on dynamite and blow off a limb.
Huzzah.
Good.
What is it, a landmine?
I don't know how dynamite works.
But
You need like a ignition.
Okay, that I was going to look that up. Thank you, Christine.
It might be different for blasting caps.
I mean, this is like Crash Bandicoot is my knowledge source, but isn't it like nitrous that like is the one that can go off based on being impacted? But like dynamite, I'm pretty sure you need to like combust to make it explode.
I think that might be the special thing about dynamite is that it was like pretty dang stable.
Oh.
Okay, dynamite is nitroglycerin rendered insensitive by mixing it with diatomaceous earth.
Oh.
By design, it will not explode upon impact, but requires
An ignition source.
which is the blasting cap, right?
I think so. And something about how I think it's the glycerin or the casing will decay over time makes it less stable.
Oh, okay. If dynamite has been stored for a long time, it is possible that A, the dynamite stick can sweat, and the sweat is nitro. Nitro can sometimes crystallize like sugar on the ends of a stick of dynamite, and those crystals could explode on impact with a hard surface. However, if dynamite sticks are stored properly, some experts say that the sticks could be gently rotated so as to prevent crystals from forming on the ends.
That's cool as fuck.
That is not how any dynamite here is being stored.
Well, they're new, presumably, so they're fine.
That's fair enough.
This could be something that would come up
in the future.
later.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, let's take fucking notes. Dynamite, bad in future.
when old.
Oh no, Jacob, did Jonathan's body fall on a bunch of old
Oh, fuck.
That's so fucked
Jacob,
up.
you're not just dead, you're extra super mega dead.
Oh, mega dead. Oh, no.
Why would they store all the old dynamite
Right beneath.
just at the bottom of the shaft?
Things get lost. It's a big mine.
They forgot.
They were just done and they just chucked it in.
They're like, we don't need this anymore. Thanks for joining us at the Science Corner.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right, thank you both for the successful poll. You've not stepped on the leaky dynamite, and in not doing so, you've come to a point in the tunnel where you're going to have to crawl. It's what we in the business of spelunking call a squeeze.
Okay, so here's the thing. They didn't really design this with us in mind. So here, I'll go in first. I'll take the lantern and hold it so you can see. What you want to do is breathe out as much as you can to deflate your lungs and shimmy on in.
For such an important piece of infrastructure that was an escape route, you feel like it'd be a little more readily escapable.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's supposed to be for emergencies only, and not all the miners technically know that we are connected. So looks like they've been piling some of their spare dirt and stuff up here a little more. I can talk to the foreman about it at some point. But for now, see ya on the other side.
And Fritz will fucking start shimmying. I hate this. I hate this.
Well, I feel like Brennan's going to have to take at least his outer cop jacket off and maybe his shirt too, and kind of hand those up to avoid them getting all smeared with dirt, because
That's fair.
would be suspicious. And Fritz is a gentleman, so yeah, pants too. It's all coming off. And then slithering through the dirt.
I'm just imagining like a hand emerging from a crack in the earth with a police. Take my pants.
From the other side of the tunnel, you hear, "Yes, sir, officer." I'll just wait for you.
Well, I'm going to need to be presentable.
Okay. So, Brennan, you crawl through the squeeze as the earth is like tightly compressed around you. Now, Jacob, here's the thing. I have to explain why this is happening to you, and it didn't happen to Fritz. Marissa specifically wrote on her character sheet that Fritz is an agile little guy, like distressingly agile, I think was the exact wording of it.
It's true.
And I have no idea how Officer Brennan O'Malley looks.
I'll go with distressingly agile.
No. You can't answer the question after you know the answer.
I'll do your poll.
The thing about Brennan O'Malley is that he's a shapeshifter.
Oh,
He can just turn into a worm and crawl on in.
He turns into smoke, a la the bad guy from Pendragon.
He turns into a crow and flies through the earth.
Oh, God.
It would be a bad idea to turn into a crow in this town.
In this town?
But sure.
Nice job, Jacob.
Nice job. You have successfully wriggled through the squeeze, and you've come out on the other side, looking, not gonna lie, a little bit worse for wear.
Good thing my clothes look fine.
Fritz helps you dust off some like dirt out of like your beard. And
Amazing.
I assume you have a beard, or at least a good mustache.
I mean, definitely a great mustache. Sure, it can be a beard. Beard, cannon stand.
Yay!
Cannon sounds. Kaboom. Here we go.
Okay, that was the worst of it. One more turn down this tunnel, and we should get up towards the surface. We should be in the middle of a shift change right now, so no miner should be down here, but just in case, be a little quieter moving forward.
Perhaps I should put my trousers back on then.
Yeah. That'll probably be good.
Strange how you both have been just like standing there talking like there's no problem at all.
Two guys sitting in a mine shaft, 5 feet apart with their hands off, but they're not gay.
I mean, I had undergarments on. I wasn't just like...
Yeah.
That's fair. So, Officer Brennan O'Malley has re-robed, and you both continue down the hallway.
I think, like, Fob, remind me, the exit that we are going to isn't, like, the hoist. That's, like, the main one. This
No.
is, like, literally just a ladder that go
It's
up.
like not even that. It's like a mine air chute, basically, that was dug at, like, such an angle that you can kind of, like, scramble up it.
Oh, so this actually sucks really bad. I would love to pull for a ladder when we get there eventually.
Yeah, you absolutely, because that's something you could have installed. But before you get there, you round the corner and you see, leaning up against the wall of the mine, a like short, really stocky, muscular man with a huge, bushy mustache.
Ooh.
One of those flat caps that's like kind of like tilted down slightly over his eyes.
Yeah.
He's got his arms crossed and he's leaning up against the wall. When you guys round the corner, he sees you and his eye goes up and you see a blue, piercing eye that stares right at you, Fritz.
Ah, fuck me.
This man uncrosses his arms and moves to stand directly in your path. Fritz, you see Lloyd Larkin standing in front of you.
Oh, I stopped. I stopped dead in my tracks.
Fritz, you
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Mr. Lloyd, great to see you.
Great to see you. Well, wish I could say the same.
Have you met Officer O'Malley?
And I step behind him.
Officer, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. How do you do? And he tips his cap to you.
Well, good evening, sir. I'd be happy to stay and exchange pleasantries, but we're hot on the trail of scampering criminals. If you don't mind, move aside. We must be moving along.
Yep, moving along. Yep.
We start to like walk around.
And he lets Officer Brennan pass, and then kind of like puts out an arm to have you run into him.
Oh.
Can I try to like use my momentum to just like limbo under his arm?
You are distressingly agile. I think I
Yeah.
will allow that. Yeah, you get past him.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
As you're going past him, he's going to make a grab at you. Give me a pull to make sure he doesn't get a hold of you.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like this man.
You can always refuse pulls.
The tower's still pretty okay. I will pull to not be nabbed
Okay.
by this gentleman.
What was his last name again?
Larkin.
Whoop.
Ooh.
Oops,
Ooh,
daisies.
spicy.
It's
Ooh.
fine. It's still okay. Ish. Not really. Don't look at that one row.
So Fritz, you get past this man. He starts following you.
Okay. I think Fritz is like walking backwards
Mhm.
with his hands up, and he's like,
Sorry, Mr. Larkin. We're a little bit on a deadline. Sorry to disturb you.
Fritz, you're not supposed to be down here.
It's you. We said it was for emergencies only, and
You had an emergency?
Mayor Holbrook is in the barber shop right now.
Mm.
Again, yes. And
Fritz, what about my emergency?
I don't know what you mean,
Fritz?
Lloyd.
You don't? Is this-
We have a deadline, the crow train, and the scarecrows. So,
Fritz, where's my money?
"Ooh,
great news. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Mhm,
Fritz.
Tomorrow.
Fritz. Have we heard that before?
Don't be a bunny, Lloyd. This time I mean it.
Mm-hmm. You sure?
Look,
We're not going to have another last month's batch situation?
it is not my fault that someone in town found one of the stills that I had stashed around. Okay, I know we lost some revenue from that batch getting confiscated, but neither of us got caught, so at least there's that.
And your friend, Officer Brennan.
Yes, sir?
You the one I hear about making deliveries from that Nestor fellow?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but as I said, we're hot on the pursuit of a criminal, and I must be going. If you wouldn't mind leaving us to our business.
A criminal that's gone down this way? I assure you, officer, no one's been down this way for hours.
Well, it's good to know, but of course I must be sure myself, so good day, sir.
Good day, Officer Brennan. Fritz. Tomorrow?
As the foreman of the Spillman mine, Lloyd, I'm sure you're very busy, and as partner with Mr. Grufton, I'm sure you can take his word for it when he says that I'm good for it, and I promise tomorrow, definitely.
He's stopped, and you guys have kept going, and you hear him call out to you, shouting, "It better be tomorrow, Fritz."
Start climbing, climb faster.
like shoving you up the ladder."
Hey, Fritz. As you guys are getting close to the exit, it's weird. You're able to see because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's hard because your light source has dimmed.
Dimmed, as in, how are the moths? How are my moths?
You look down at your moths and they're red.
Oh, fuck. Officer, back up. Hold your breath.
I do this, but I look confused because the answer seemed to be to leave the mine, and now we're walking away from the exit.
Fritz will pull like a handkerchief out from his pocket and like tie it around his nose and mouth and like hand you one.
There's bad air up ahead. If you breathe it in, you might get the rot. We gotta find a different air shaft out. Come on.
And I want to like turn and like start like hauling ass. Fuck that.
I'll follow, and I'll pull like my collar and my jacket up over my mouth, kind of in turn.
Okay. I need both of you to make me a pull.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Here I go.
I don't like
Dun,
this at all. Because it doesn't, like,
There's
smell.
it doesn't smell any different.
It's just, like, the only indication is the moths,
Absolutely no way to tell other than the moths.
right? Cool.
I'm so delighted that the moths have like become this very important thing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
All right,
you.
nice, Jacob. Okay, here I go.
This is the joy of collaborative work.
It really is.
Where else would we get butter salad in a crow train?
This is why you should play RPGs.
All right.
We're entering Spicy Tower Land.
Woo.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da.
Okay, what is the next nearest, like, either air shaft or way out?
I think there's another one on the other side of the church.
Oh, okay, so, like, not super far, just, like, down, like, a side tunnel.
Yeah, you wouldn't even necessarily have to pass by Lloyd again.
I don't want anything to do with that man. Do the moths turn blue?
The moths turn blue after about 100 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna let the miners and Lloyd, as the foreman of the mine, figure that out and deal with it, because that's not my fucking job. Have fun with that. Goodbye.
Savage.
I'm a barber. Like,
Barely.
lest
Perfect.
we forget.
Okay. You get to the mine shaft, you get to the air shaft, and you are able to climb out. Once you get to the top, you're outside the church, just outside of the hollowed church ground. You're like across the street.
Oh, that close?
So I think it would be like closer to the mine. So you probably actually pop out pretty near where Kit's boarding house is.
Oh, chill.
So you guys kind of like scramble off looking a little bit worse for wear, but at least one of you has a pristine, well, as pristine as traveling through a mine can be, uniform.
Fritz will just lie down on the ground.
Yeah?
Just spread eagled on the grass, staring at the late afternoon sun.
Okay.
Like, take his handkerchief down and just kind of breathe for a minute.
Hey, Officer O'Malley, if you find my body floating in Lake Kestrel in about a week, please arrest Lloyd Larkin. You don't need to bury me. Just arrest him. That's all I want.
I'm bound by duty to follow the evidence, of course, so we'll see, son. But, I mean, best case scenario, you're not in the lake, and we're all filthy rich. So, cheer up.
Do you, like, kick me as I'm on the ground?
Like a loving little tap. Like, you know, come on. There's money. Like, there's money on the line. This is what we call a callback. And so we best be carrying on. I believe I need to go retrieve a crate for this evening's delivery.
So the camera pans away as you both go your separate ways in preparation for your job. We see Brennan going to a unsavory location, picking up a seemingly innocuous crate filled with well wishes and cards and donations for the sick Spillman mother. We see Fritz lay down in the grass for a time, just sort of collecting himself, collecting his thoughts before returning to his place of living. And we see Kit closing her book, applying her lipstick, and getting ready for a night out. And that's the first episode.
Hey! Caw! Caw!
This episode of Dread and Breakfast is sponsored by the Crow Train.
Choo-choo.
Will it be early? Who knows?
When the plot demands it.
Hey there, dear listener. Thank you so much for listening to Dread and Breakfast. Our theme song is composed by Morgan Thomas Mills and samples music courtesy of the American Folklife Center, Library of Congress. We'd also like to thank Jacob Smith for composing an original song for the season that we featured in this episode. You can find links to all of Jacob's creative projects in the episode notes. A full list of sound credits and content warnings are also linked in the episode notes. Guys, go check out the episode notes. It's full of good things. I know that you, dear listener, have already 100% of course given our show a 5-star rating and left us a glowing review on the review app of your choice. But you know who probably hasn't done that yet, dear listener? It's your friends. First things first, you gotta get our show in their ears. Once the show's in their ears, you gotta bug them about leaving a review, or just steal their phone and leave a review on that. You can say crazy things about the show that way, and it's not your fault because it's not linked back to you. Trust me, I promise that this is a terrible idea. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next part of the story. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Love you.